Hey guys, and welcome back to the Shade Report. So today I wanted to do a very special announcement to say thank you to all of you for subscribing to this channel. So now it is a channel that has passed 10,000 subscribers. I know that doesn't sound like a lot in the influencer world, but to me that means a lot. And I believe we're now over 12,000. So let's keep growing this community, and so I wanted to announce a very special giveaway to convey my thanks. And I just wanted to sort of just wrap it up there, but I couldn't help myself. Some other juicy tidbit popped up again here in Korea. So for the second story, I want to go over how a young political protege has now been stripped of his party membership. He was literally like running the Conservative Party here. He's been stripped of his membership due to a very salacious scandal. And third, I wanted to go over some more K-beauty, particularly this Banila Co. But to tell you guys that once you like a K-beauty product, you gotta get on it, because this has already been discontinued as of a couple of months ago. This continues on, and this has been upgraded. They're all great products, but you really have to stay on the ball with the ever-changing landscape of K-beauty. So all that coming up, wait for it. So first of all, you guys, I didn't know how this journey would go and where it will go, but hey, for the time being, let's celebrate being here together to just delve into what really happens here in Korea. And I always felt like, that voice was missing a bit. Somebody who's lived the experience on both sides, like being an insider and an outsider, and be able to convey it according to what people are seeing or feeling or very curious about Korea and Korean society. By training, by education, I'm a sociologist and have a degree in international relations, and of course I did a loop-de-loop around the whole drama world, so that's why I understand drama. But I'm really glad that you guys are really interested in the nuances of Korean culture, because I think that the way that Korean society has set itself up is to engage in a lot of dramatic conflict with each other, and it essentially turns into like free, I don't like to say free entertainment because sometimes it could be entertaining, but a free lesson in humanity, society, what happens if you make that type of choice, what happens if you get yourself in this kind of situation, what happens, if you suppress, what happens if you express or rage, and, the consequences of that. In Korea, I believe there is a lot to learn if you just open your eyes and perk up to read between the lines as well, and also give a read when it's appropriate, because more people I think need to do that. And so I thought it was just fun to kind of be like a little bit of a rebel on YouTube. Now I wanted to go over like, okay, so yes, let's keep growing this community, but in the meantime, let's celebrate. And I wanted to not hold on to the BTS album that I bought for the unboxing, and then also just to kind of see, what these like huge fan packages are. And I would feel more happy if I would be able to give this to somebody who really wants it. And I used this in the unboxing, so you'd be getting the one that actually showed up in the video, with the fan cards, the cards that have all of the individual, members here, and then the special random card. And then, of course, the set of 3 CDs that go through the entire anthology of BTS thus far, plus the new songs that have been released, and then the new songs that can only be listened to on a CD. And then of course you get the commemorative booklets, and this is the standard edition, which basically means the deluxe edition. And it has all of these booklets that, remember, had the photo shoots, the lyrics, the song catalog, and history. So I want to send this to somebody, and it will go through like DHL Express. You'll get it in like about 2 days by airmail. But I wanted to ask, like, to how am I going to choose? Well, I thought that it might be fun if this post could become like the glossary of all the terms that you use to be in the BTS army. So of course, like 보라해 is one very popular term, but I'm sure there are tons of others that people who might not be so familiar with the fandom or who are just getting into it would really appreciate learning, and so it'd be nice to consolidate it here all on the channel. So how about this? If you want this to be sent to you, and I'll pick among the subscribers at random, make sure you're a subscriber, and then in the comment section write down your favorite BTS vocabulary or some others if other people have already mentioned the vocab that goes along with being part of the BTS fandom. So one person I'll give the CD box to. And trust me, it's probably going to cost more to ship it than I paid for this thing. But, okay, we'll just do this later. But I do like my international air shipping. And because I don't want to fold this up, I'll even pay to ship it to another lucky subscriber in like a cardboard roll. The poster, the limited edition poster that came with the standard edition. Apparently, like after a certain window, they don't offer this poster anymore. And I just ask you, the only thing I want to keep is the postcard, which I already framed. 1 second, I'll show it to you. So I've kind of really enjoyed this. So I'm just asking you, please just let me keep this framed photo of the BTS members. And yeah, when we get to 20,000, who knows? Let's do something else. But for the meantime, thank you guys so much. It means so much to me. I have been waiting so long to connect to at least 10,000 people over on YouTube, and then suddenly, these days we have been growing our community because I think we have a fun time here. All right, so not to get so serious about things, but we have just had a very big scandal pop up. The ruling party's chief, the leader of the ruling political party, just got pulled down because of a sex bribery scandal. Yes. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, and I checked this with some legal professor, and he also used to work, in the Blue House. I asked him, I was like, wait, why is it called ruling party when they do not have a majority? So it's like over in the US Congress, if the president, let's say, is a Republican, but the House of Representatives is majority Democrat, they would still say, in the Korean example, that the ruling party would be the Republican Party just because that's the president's party. And that pissed me off because that sounds so anti-democratic. The different branches are supposed to balance each other out. If you have a Republican president, fine, that's a Republican president or conservative president. If you have a liberal legislature, then that's the identity of what is ruling the legislature. You don't suddenly slap on that it's the president's party unless it indicates that your country is still not a checks and balances democracy, but really still a party of one man, the president, or sort of the emperor, which Yoon Suk-yeol said that he wanted to move away from this image of an emperor, but you guys can see like how institutionally or structurally it does support kind of like an emperor rule, because no matter what a majority in the National Assembly, might decide, the president can either directly veto it or directly put political pressure on it, or behind the scenes put political pressure on it to basically make you like a duck out of water. So that I found disturbing. But what you guys might find disturbing too is the ethics panel's conclusion. All right, so what happened? Essentially, there's this phenom guy. He's 37 years old right now. He's a Harvard grad, but he's Korean. So that means, like, he speaks English well. He speaks Korean well. He is not like a force on the political scene, but sort of something like that kind of just like popped up in a garden nowhere. And you're just like, where the heck did that happen? So back in 2012 or 13, the then president Park Geun-hye was looking for youth to try to create this whole campaign of a new creative economy and, engaging the youth. And he was one of her proteges. And so he was swept into politics and never served in the National Assembly, but was like kind of like always on like a committee here or there, or always making media appearances as kind of like a representative of this, new young blood of the Conservative Party under President Park. So then what he has been accused of is that he received sexual favors or bribes, like drinking with ladies of the night and, finishing up with the ladies of the night, paid for by a businessman who's now in jail right now for fraud. So already, he's like shady. Apparently he ran a company called iKaist, and he was trying to become part of that whole creative economy movement with his kind of like charlatan company. Keist is like the name of our leading tech and science university. So it's somebody like naming their company IMIT or something like that. And so apparently, the allegation is that from 2013 to 2016, over 20 times, Lee Jun-suk, as a young man, accepted over 20 times, 20 invitations to be, finished by ladies of the night. But the thing is that I think the reason why it's a little confusing is that most people would be like, well, that was like a long time ago. Like, how is that being pinned on him now? And when you really look at it, over the past 10 years and probably between the same time periods, what other politician hadn't been serviced by ladies of the night paid for by a businessman, at a room salon? That's like their second office. And so it was a little bit odd, but what had happened was, remember, there was like a civil war in the Conservative Party between our current president Yoon Suk-yeol, who was a candidate, and Lee Jun-suk, who was the party leader. They were supposed to be helping each other. I mean, they were supposed to basically be like, let's win this election, let's both build our power bases. But there was a war there, and that, of course, really, it came to a head in December, January. What happened in December? Well, apparently some YouTuber was like, digging out all these old receipts and all these old kind of allegations against Lee Jun-suk, and actually found a girl who said she was one of the ladies of the night. She's like, yes, I was a lady of the night, and I was there until the next morning. And the thing that got him in trouble, according to the ethics committee, was not even the sexual bribery. So I don't know what kind of message is that saying? Is that like, oh, it's okay? It's the cover-up attempt that happened in January, allegedly. So one of the assistants to Lee Jun-suk admitted that he met with that lady of the night and promised an investment of about $700,000 into a skin clinic if she would make a statement saying that there was no lady of the night action going on whatsoever. And I guess she rejected it. But that, I guess, also was found out, and that's considered destruction of evidence and not being ethical. So this is the kind of weird political doublespeak you'll have in Korea. They said that it is not about the issue whatsoever about the Lady of the Night situation. It was more over the destruction of evidence, cover up, and acting unethically with this sort of witness. So for this committee, which met like for 7 hours, like they got started really late, like it was like 7 p.m. then they like ended at like 3 a.m. And so they concluded that no, we gotta kick out Lee Jun-suk for about 6 months because he violated the ethics. And you want to hear the ethics code that they cited? It was so laughable. Article 4, Paragraph 1 of the People Party's Ethics Regulations. Members should be mindful of their manners and act in a responsible way while not damaging the party's honor or speaking or acting inconsistently with the public sentiment. So again, what is this? Some narcissistic language? It's all about like, oh, don't harm our party's reputation and go against public sentiment. There again, public sentiment. Remember, public sentiment is apparently like the number one reason or basis of decision for whether BTS goes to the army or not. And so they're saying, but then what is that? What does that actually mean? And that is the beauty of this dark strategy, I guess, for these politicians, is that how are you supposed to nab them on like that was a bad decision you made when they said like, oh, he violated the mindfulness of manners. So if they are so like dogmatic about it violated manners, it's hard for you to kind of say like, what the heck are you doing? Like, is this a political power play? It's a mindfulness of manners. Like, there's nothing to stick to because the wall is just slippery. And so I think, you know, we were talking about how like the politicians don't really want to make a decision on BTS because like one of those are very clear cut yes or no, and attacks will stick. On this kind of a thing, it looks like the attack won't stick, and they got their political maneuver because for a long time people who were on Yoon Suk-yeol's team wanted to get rid of Lee Jun-suk. Also, people within the Conservative Party don't think he's doing that good of a job, and especially why? What is the currency of a party leader? Win elections, win power, expand the power base. And they were thinking that he is not doing a good job promoting other candidacies and getting, you know, the candidates out there, even though there was like a landslide, you know, reshift towards the Conservatives in the past election. So, and in the parliamentary election, you know, the presidential election was razor thin. But in any event, Lee Jun-suk said that he is going to fight the charges because he wants to retain power, even though he's getting kicked out for 6 months. The police are doing their own investigation concurrently on the side. But he even said that, like, you know, next June when my term expires, I'm just gonna not run for re-election. I'm just gonna go study abroad. Apparently, it looks like people want him to get pack and run away, open those books, and just get gone. They don't want him around anymore. So that's the kind of scandal. All right, let's move to the K-Beauty skincare review. So today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite lines because one of you guys in the message board said, like, there's so many products out there. What do you actually really like? So we could kind of cut through the noise. And of course, like, it's not necessarily like what I like, because what I don't like about a certain product could be exactly why you would love a product, which is why I like to be very clear, because I appreciate those types of reviews, because I'm like, oh, now I know I would like that product because you don't like it for the certain, for these and these reasons. But Banila Co, I always thought was like a really cool brand because it looks clean, looks modern, but it's almost like a very precise. And they do well in makeup. So this is another skincare line that comes from more of a makeup company's, wheelhouse, but they just really do well in skincare. And the cleansing oil balm is really their most famous product to get rid of makeup and melt it away. That works really well. Maybe I'll review it in a different video. But I wanted to make the point that like even these companies, like the pace of change is so fast. So originally I just wanted to talk to you about things for the summer, like a serum where if you wanted to have light exfoliation, harnessing the power of citrus and vitamin C, but not have it so overwhelming. This is a great line. High Vitality High by Vitapeel. But as of like 9 months ago, they don't make it anymore. So, I mean, there's not much point to talk about it, and I used it all up. It was pretty good. And then also these pads, you might be able to find some leftover stock remaining, but this was so great for like the summer, especially like if you wanted something a little bit stronger, but not too strong to take off like the oil and exfoliation. It looks like an old Clearasil or Stridex pad, but doesn't have any of that alcohol scent. So it's very gentle. So I would say like this brand is almost as if like, let's say like Clinique had like a genius kid, and then that kid wanted to create a makeup and skincare line and was like a perfectionist. I think you'd get something like Banila Co. And so their next famous thing is the primer. Now they come in hydrating, matte, and original, classic. I actually tried them all. I like the classic because this is kind of where you're gonna get your like pure dimethicone. They still have this on the market, but they've already redesigned this as well. So what I generally say is like, if you find dimethicone in any of your skincare products, kind of stay away, especially if it comes in something like an essence, because it's going to kind of like block any other goodies from going into your skin, because it's essentially kind of like a plastic barrier. It feels good, silky. So this is why you want to use this like later on in the process, right before you put on any makeup, because this is designed so that you have a smooth canvas on your skin so that makeup can go on well and kind of keep it from, you know, becoming uneven or oily or cloggy. So these have been one of their claims to fame, and I'm telling you, so this is the new redesigned one. I just have a sample, so let's see, let's do the comparison. But you know when you get that silky smooth texture but no oil, and you're like, how did they do that? Usually it's just dimethicone. So I say, if you want dimethicone, just buy it where it's almost like 100% dimethicone. It's so much more economical. You don't want them mixing it into like very expensive skin creams and found at essences, because that's what like those department store brands would do. I think the new one is new and improved. I think they kind of like raised the price a little bit with their new improvements, but so I would say still this is the best primer on the market. This is what it used to look like, and then this, my little sample, is what it will look like when you go order it online or into the store. Now what they still do have that I still like is this toner, and this is one of the toners. I like to divide toners into toners that you would actually put onto a cotton pad that, God forbid, maybe will have alcohol like the Clinique, or like a witch hazel, which I love. And that basically you're kind of like washing your face and taking off the dirt and exfoliating. Then there's a particular very moisturizing toner that kind of has like goody essences inside that help your skin like have a drink of water before then you put on some creams, because you want to go from thinnest to then thickest. And so this would be the thin layer of moisture. So then, like, you know, if you have wet hands and then you cover it, or if you have wet skin and then you put on lotion, it locks in the moisture, but you don't want to just put on water. So this kind of toner is super hydrating, and I would say very affordably priced for what you get, and you know, it's part of the whole aesthetic. So anyhow, so that is my thoughts on Banila Co. And so I'm really sad. I called the one of the biggest shops here in Korea and asked them about, like, do you still carry this? And they said, oh, we just stopped selling that. And I was like, why, didn't it sell well? And they're like, no, we have so many other new products coming out that we have no space, and I guess some of them had to just go. So you gotta keep your eye on the ball with K-Beauty. You know, if you like something and if you can get it at a good price, then, you know, buy a few, because you might not know if it's gonna be around the next time you go look for it. However, there will always be something brighter, better, shinier. Hopefully, if the company is doing well with its research and development, then, you know, what they discontinued. But there have been times where I'm just like, darn, like, no more. Like, I really like that product. But it forces you on a journey to find, you know, new and more improved skincare products. All right, guys. Well, what do you think about the whole, you know, disaster with the with the Conservative Party here in Korea? It's going to be a bloodbath. But to be fair, on the other side, the liberals, they're in a civil war over who's going to lead their party right now. So I guess they just wanted a match, you know. And again, thank you everybody for being on this journey to 10,000 subscribers now. I think 12,000 or 13,000. And so let's keep going, and let's, you know, keep spreading the, you know, love of knowledge. That's what I think of it. And being able to read shade and give shade. All right, guys. Well, put your comments below, and remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Tune in next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Love you.